What's up, guys? Today we're going to do a video about an upcoming build I'm going to be doing. I've been kind of referencing it in a few of the videos I've been doing lately where I wanted to do like a pure gaming build. And so I ordered most of the components today, and then it's going to be up to whether or not I can get my hands on like an 11th gen, like 11900K for the processor. But I got everything else ordered, or it's parts I already have that I'm going to transplant and use for this system, and then put other things back into my workstation, so I'll have two systems going that way. So give me a second here and we'll go over what I ordered. If you haven't already done so, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Thanks. Alright, so the first thing we ordered was the Phanteks Enthoo 719, which, if you guys are familiar with my workstation at all, you already know I have a Phanteks Evolve X for that case. They're both full towers, but this is a little bit different design. I like Phanteks cases, so I sort of wanted to stick with them. I also looked at InWin and Leon Lee. I was happy with really going with any of those things, but just found this one and I kind of liked it. It's got a nice little kind of a clean layout. Somebody was telling me they thought it looked like it has a 3.5-inch drive bay here, but I'm pretty sure that this is just where you find like USB-C and different ports, USB ports up front, etc. But nice large case, a lot of space inside, nice and roomy. I like the color palette, which is kind of a black, and then they call it anthracite gray. And you can hide your power supply and whatnot, so that's not visible from the front. It kind of mounts in vertically. Let's see if we can find, like, there's some pictures of a pre-built system, but yeah, so you put the power supply in back here vertically, and then you can run your cables through, if you're 24 pin, 12 volt, etc. So that's going to be a nice little build, room for some SATA drives if desired in the future. Nice thing about these Phanteks cases, they're really good for cable management. So like there's usually, if this is anything like the one I've already got, like there's a door you can see that's kind of swung up here to hide the power supply, and all your cables and stuff will be hidden back there pretty well. And then they've got like built-in cable management Velcro ties with these little pieces right here. And then they also have these a built-in fan hub, which my current case also has, so that's available in that too. But you run one power cable from the board to the white one, usually from the CPU, I think, and then you can control the rest of the multiple case fans or whatever can be run off the same thing. So if you got a CPU cooler that didn't have like a splitter or something, you'd be able to hook up multiple things to this, or case fans to it, that kind of stuff. So they give you some pretty good options. But nice case. This is again the Phanteks 719 full tower. Should come with some case fans and so forth. Nice layout. Again, very comparable to what I've had before. Full tower, gives me a lot of space for that Kingpin. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably put, I haven't decided yet, but I'll probably put the Kingpin's radiator on the top this time and run the CPU radiator to the front to try to expel the GPU heat out the top as much as possible. But we'll play around with it and try to get some good airflow ideas. So that's the first thing, like I say, is the 719. Moving on to the cooler that we went with. I wanted to get the 360 millimeter, but they're just not available. Like they won't even be available for like a month or more, a month and a half. And so instead I went with the 280 millimeter version. But Phanteks makes their own all-in-one coolers now, which is really nice because of course it matches this color palette layout very nicely. You can see the block has this kind of aesthetic blackish grayish anthracite color scheme of its own, and they even show it kind of in a case. But I figured I kind of like this purple black, or turquoise black or something along those lines. I haven't decided yet. I'm probably not going to do much RGB this time around. I really don't care that much one way or the other. I don't dislike it, but I'm not in love with it either. So as I said, like in the last build, I tried to get away from RGB. I ended up having some of it, but this time I'm going to do probably pretty minimal on that. Maybe just a little bit on the block, maybe a couple. Actually, I think if I use the fans that come with the case, there won't be any on that either. So it might be very limited RGB. Like the Kingpin card, I can have it, displaying. It's on this little OLED, and then whatever I want to do on the block. But that's going to be pretty much it. So again, Phanteks Glacier 280mm radiator is what we're going to go with here. Again, probably we'll put it on the front of the case and then put the Kingpin AIO 360mm on the top. I want to do dual 360s, but I think this will be more than enough to dissipate heat on whatever CPU I get. Even the 11900K is only 125 watts. This, I mean, overclocked, of course, would use more, but I think this will be more than sufficient cooling for pretty good overclocking. If it's not, I can always replace it later, but I think that'll be all right. Motherboard, the Asus ROG Maximus, I guess, hero board here. I'm not familiar as much with their lineup. I wanted to get an MSI Meg Ace Z590, and unfortunately, they're just like everything else right now. It's like they're being scalped. Even these are kind of hard to get, and I suspect it's because, of course, that's the upcoming product, is the new Z590 platform, and as a result, like the most popular boards are being bought and unfortunately scalped. So you can't get really one of those unless you want to buy it through a third party and you want to wait a month to get it, and you got to pay extra and all that other BS. And when I saw that these had come back into stock at their, which they're still expensive, of course, but at their normal, MSRP price, I decided this is, like I said, this and the Z590 ROG or Meg Ace from MSI were my two choices, and I went with this one because both of them have Thunderbolt 4. The other boards that are out, also the MSI Godlike has Thunderbolt 4, but that board is $1,000, and it's not worth $1,000. It's like it's pretty, so you're paying that much more for it, but really, I mean, it has armor all over the board. It looks nice, but whatever. Thunderbolt 4, new feature. I figured if I'm going to pick up a new system, even though it has really nothing to do with gaming, it'll be interesting to see what external storage devices and other things come along that will be able to utilize Thunderbolt 4. I figured I'd go ahead and snap up a board that can support it, because most of them don't yet. And nothing from AMD, of course, is going to have Thunderbolt. So it's kind of like, well, that was partly why I decided to go ahead and jump on the Z590 platform as well. But nice looking board. I don't know why companies keep doing this. This is like, maybe this is a really dumb thing to beef about, or to be annoyed by. The frickin' audio ports, why do they gotta color them like this? Like, there's some companies that have got it through their head where, like, they just make them all gold or black or something, and it looks nice. And it's not like you ever see behind the case for the most of the part. And anyway, but it's just, I don't know what it is. I don't like it. It's like, come on, just frickin' make them look good. So whatever. Anyways, just like a minor groan on my behalf. But we do have dual Thunderbolt 4s, like I say, so that's cool. You got dual 2.5 gigabit Ethernet ports, a bunch of Gen 2 USB 3.2 ports. So you've got some standard USB 2.0s. You can flash the BIOS through here. BIOS flash, button. So you can, like, if you've got a CPU that for some reason didn't work with it, or you were having a problem and needed to update the BIOS, I think without getting into the BIOS first to load up the utility, I think you can just hit that button and flash a BIOS from a thumb drive that you put in this port. So that's handy. And then you have your clear CMOS button. So that's cool. Nice little board. Pretty layout. Got lots of CPU power for overclocking. Should be nice. Goes along again. We've got kind of the anthracite gray. If you notice the theme I'm going with here, every board that I found was kind of being advertised with this color palette for some reason, or like all the components rather. And so we got the Gen 2 by 2 USB-C header here, so we can plug it up to our case and have a little connectivity up front. Got plenty of room for M.2 drives. Let's see what else it comes with. And it's even got a graphics card holder, so that's nice. So I'll be able to add a little support for my Kingpin, although the Kingpin's not that, like, the card is only 2 slots, and most of that's like just the fan shroud. It's actually not that big because it's not using a big beefy air cooler. It's got the all-in-one cooler instead, but whatever. So that's cool. You can add a little support for your GPU. You've got some SATA cables and whatnot, case badges and all that dumb stuff that I've never put any of that on a case. But anyways, that's the motherboard we're going with, is the Maximus Hero Z590. Next up, memory that we went with. So I ordered 2 of these kits because for some reason you cannot buy them. You can't buy like 30, like a 16 by 16, but I think 32 gigs of RAM will be fine for gaming for the foreseeable future anyway. And I think this is really aesthetic looking stuff. It's kind of minimalistic, but it looks like they give you the option to like put on an RGB kit if you want. So I'm not sure if it comes with it or not. I can't really tell. Maybe it does. Let's see if they show anything in the images about it. But it doesn't really look like it comes with that. Like maybe it's a separate thing you have to buy. It says level up your build with flow. So I don't know. But it looks like you screw in the RGB kit to the top of it. You can see on the top of the RAM, there's like little connector points. And then you can put on like that RGB kit on top if you so desire to have RGB later. So, you know, starting off, none, but could get some if I wanted. But I just think it looks really nice. Like if you look at the image, it goes real well with like that dark palette that we're kind of going with here. So I went with that. That's 4400 megahertz DDR4, 32 gigs of that total. That should be pretty nice. This is the power supply I already have. I'm currently using it in my my workstation with my Threadripper and the Kingpin that's in there. But you figure if I'm going to use that 1000-watt BIOS on the Kingpin, then we want big time power available just in case we need it. So this is the power supply. I'll transplant that for my workstation, and then I still have my EVGA 1200-watt Supernova that I could put back in my workstation. That'll be more than enough to run the Threadripper along with the 3090 hybrid, because I don't run those overclocked when I process deepfake. So I'll just let them run at stock. That's more than ample power for those to sit by themselves, so I won't need them in that system. So we'll be using our Thermaltake Tough Power 1500-watt titanium series for our new system. And I ordered, now this is a Gen 3, I think this is, yeah, I'd clicked on Gen 4, but I'm pretty sure I bought the Gen 3 version of this drive. Maybe I should be sure about what the hell I ordered, because I'm pretty sure I ordered the, you just hold the phone here, because I'm pretty, yeah, see, I'd clicked on that because I was looking at it, but this is the drive I actually ordered. My mistake. I had the wrong thing pulled up. This is Sabrent 2 terabyte Rocket series, but it is Gen 3, not Gen 4, because the Gen 4 drives, man, you're tacking on 150 to 200 bucks for the same storage capacity. And for gaming and whatnot, if you guys remember, Linus Tech Tips did a video concerning like trying to load games off of like standard SATA SSDs and then Gen 3 and Gen 4 NVMe SSDs, and like there's no appreciable difference. Like you cannot tell the difference at all. Maybe eventually that'll become a thing, but right now I almost feel like Gen 4 drives are kind of a gimmick to get you to buy something that says it's like that much faster. There's probably real world scenarios wherein you need that kind of throughput for your drive, but for gaming you won't need it, and this is supposed to be a gaming rig. And 2 terabytes should be enough to get me started. Look how much more expensive it is to go to 4 terabytes, from $250 up to $700. That's crazy, man. I guess if you got to really get all the storage on a system that you can, but whatever. Oof. Anyways, so that'll be our OS drive, and because the board again has built-in shielding for the for the M.2 slots, any of these would be fine. It should be well protected and kept fairly cool. So we'll be installing that as our OS drive, along of course with Windows 10. And finally, of course, we know, as I've already done videos on it, I have the Kingpin edition RTX 3090 from EVGA. That'll be our GPU. So again, the last thing will be whatever processor I can get. And tomorrow morning, well, tomorrow sometime is when the 11900K is supposed to launch. And so I'm sure, just like everything else right now, it'll be next to impossible to get one. And if I can't get one ordered, what I will probably do, because you can actually buy them locally on Best Buy site, I could either get like a 10850K, probably fairly reasonably priced, just to make the system work. I can get the OS installed, get everything updated, get games on there and whatnot, and we can play around with that. Things will just run at Gen 3 because those do not support PCI Express 4.0. That's one of the main things coming from 10th to 11th gen for Intel, is the support for Gen 4. But and then later on, when hopefully all this BS settles down, I can pick up the the 11900K, or maybe they'll do like what the hell, like 11850K, which would be the the current gen equivalent and get one of those if it's a little cheaper or a little bit more readily available or something. Because as far as I can tell, like the gaming performance between like a 10 850K and a 10 900K, like there really isn't a difference in gaming, at least from the benchmarks that I've seen. Maybe somebody can correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. If I'm giving bad information at any point, please correct me in the comment section. I appreciate any more information. I only know what I can do, research on in the time it takes before I make one of these videos. So if I don't get something right, I appreciate being corrected. But that said, all this stuff will be here on Friday. It says delivery time by Thursday here, I know, but some of these things were coming Thursday, some were Friday, and so I just said put it all in one box, and it should all be here by Friday this week. So theoretically, tomorrow's only Tuesday. If the 11900K launches tomorrow and I'm able to snap one up, great. I'll try to get that delivered here by the weekend, and then maybe this weekend I can do this build, because I think it's going to be real nice looking. And of course, more important even than that is how it performs. I do want to see just how kind of crazy we can get with like a, like 11900K overclocked up to like 5.2, 5.3 gigahertz, and turn on that 1000-watt BIOS on the Kingpin and try to get, maybe a 22 to 2250 megahertz clock speed on that, and see what we can get in some benchmarks, try some games, and try some games where we're where the CPU matters, where it's like like at 1080p and some lower resolutions than 4K, because once you get GPU bound, it's sort of less important than it is at like 1080p or 1440p, which is where most gamers are still playing games, is at those resolutions. So all right, if anybody has any questions, please ask me in the comment section below. Like I said, if you have any corrections to make for anything that I said, please also add those comments below. If I didn't get something right, please make sure to let me know. But otherwise, I will talk to you guys again real soon. Hopefully we'll get lucky tomorrow and snap up a top tier 11th gen i9, and we can have a nice gaming rig built this weekend to give us something to do. So appreciate your guys' time. We'll talk to you again real soon.